Okay, game I'm very excited to be talking about after I first saw the cel-shaded screenshot, Transformers Devastation, and not only that, not only 80s cel-shaded action, 80s cel-shaded action by PlatinumGames, which is just blowing my mind. I'm joined by these fine gentlemen here to discuss it. Firstly, can we just sort of explain who you are and what your roles are within the project?
Yeah, so I'm Robert Conkey. I'm the producer on the game at Activision.
PlatinumGames の Saito です。ディレクターをしています。
So he's Kenji Saito. He is the director of the game at PlatinumGames.
Excellent, fantastic. Now, let's talk concept. Let's talk how this all started. Where did this project first seed? Where did the first bloom?
Yeah, so Activision has done a lot of Transformers games, and this time around we weren't tied to a movie necessarily. There's no movie coming out this year, so we had. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And we had worked with PlatinumGames in the past. We knew they make pretty awesome action games. Additionally, they have really cool cel shading tech. And we just said, hey, if we wanted to do a Transformers game using your guys' tech, what would that look like? And they sent us some early concepts that look really close to what we have in there. And it blew us away. And we showed it to Hasbro. Their minds were blown. And we said we have to do this. And they were, they watched the show at the same time we did. They had all the toys when because it was big there in Japan too. So they grew up with it. They loved it just as much as we did, and it really shows. They love it. So.
I got to ask from PlatinumGames' point of view, though, you guys have a rather full plate at the moment. I mean, it seems like you're making every game in existence. How's the team dynamic within Platinum for this? Is it a smaller teamwork on this, or what's the structure?
それに問題はないとは思います。チームの構成に関しては、それほど、大きなチームではないというところはあります。あとはそうですね。うちの会社も結構いろいろタイトルをやってるので、かなり社内は忙しくなってます。
So he said, you are completely right in that they're extremely busy. At the same time, it's not like a massive team that isn't necessarily on it. It's more regular sized. So they're making it work though without any issue. I mean, they got the manpower. So
you're given this concept to make a Transformers game. I mean, I know you guys really want to make a slow-paced strategy game, but just curious to know, did it just seem like the right fit to do an action title for this?
そうですね。キャラクターを魅力的に動かすという部分ではかなりフィットしていると思います。で、あとはうちの会社もプラチナもかなり個性的なので、それとがっちりと組み合うと思ってます。
So he thinks it was a great fit. They're all about kind of expressing characters in the way that they move and the way that they act, and that's kind of exactly what you want to do for Transformers. In terms of the style of gameplay that they have, they thought it would be hard to find a better fit. So.
Well, let's actually just linger a little bit on that animation process, because it's quite interesting given that because this is specifically about a particular era of Transformers, that original 80s cartoon, there is a certain reference point there, but obviously the Transformers there, less animated and a bit slower. So how do you work out to keep it authentic to the original characters, but at the same time imbue it with that sort of speedy style that Platinum are known for?
そうですね、デザイン的には、結構80年代を元にしているんですけど、その動きに関してはやはり、プラチナが持つその強みっていうのを、どう生かそうかと考えながら、ゲームは作っていっています。そうですね、アニメーションの動きを結構参考にしている部分も大きいので、そのあたりを、うまく融合している感じです。
Okay, so yeah, I mean they're definitely basing a lot of this on the classic look of the characters. At the same time, we've seen them in motion a lot, and by referencing all the different places we've seen them in motion, they were able to put it together, and they did a lot of experimenting with speed and figuring out how to kind of strike a good balance between this looks and feels like the character I know, as well as actually being really fun, responsive gameplay. And so after a lot of experimentation and a lot of trial and error, they were able to reach a very happy medium. So.
Sort of talk, obviously we know there's playable characters, Optimus Prime, Grimlock, but there's such a range of characters to choose from. What was the decision process? Was it like all the names in a hat? Did you fight about it? How did it come about?
やっぱりオプティマスとそのバンブルに関してはキーとなるキャラクター、基本となるキャラクターだったので選択したという理由はあります。あと残りの3人に関しては割と個性が強い3人を選んだつもりにはなってます。
So, Bumblebee and Optimus were kind of no-brainers. They're just such a classic part of the Autobots. They are the Autobots, right? They're a major part of it. The other three, it was like they had a lot of potential selections, and they looked at the say, how do you translate that? They looked at like the unique, what was interesting about them, and they thought that those three would be the most fun, and they would have the most interesting aspects to them, which is Wheeljack, Sideswipe, and Grimlock. They thought they have enough differentiation between them that they could really have a lot of fun with bringing them to life, and that's how they ended up with them.
So how does transformation factor into gameplay and combat?
Yeah, so I can answer that one. So transformation, it's actually a really new way to use transformation. So there's melee combos. At the end of the majority of your combos, you'll see a blue flash on the screen. If you press the transform button right then, you'll turn into a vehicle and throw yourself at the enemy. Once you hit them, you can continue that combo and then potentially get another blue flash. So if you're really good, you can do that a lot of times in a row. And so it's kind of, transformation is now a way to connect combos together, and it brings a lot to the melee aspect of the game that we've never really seen before. So it's kind of amazing.
What's the actual structure of the game? I mean, is it a mission select, and within that mission it's a linear series of arenas that you have to defeat enemies? How does it work?
Yeah, so it's as you would expect from a lot of PlatinumGames games. In the end, it is a very linear experience. At the same time, we have some very large areas that have tons to explore in them. There's collectibles everywhere. There's a bunch of side missions. It's definitely not all you have to do is just go from point A to point B. There's a lot to explore there. So, yeah.
Okay. Decepticons, playable?
No playable Decepticons, only the 5 Autobots. So we've actually been getting a lot of requests for that, and it's definitely something to think about for the future. Yeah.
Go on, touching that. I mean, don't want to say it's an obvious thing, but obviously there's very rich, iconic characters in that other side. So why the decision just to go with the Autobots?
Well, that's an interesting question. So, and that was a discussion between us and PlatinumGames and Hasbro as well. So, for one, they wanted to focus on a hero story, and they wanted to have a bunch of characters with similar mechanics that weren't so different that you would have to just relearn everything for each one. Additionally, they thought it was a really cool idea, and we completely agreed. It would be a really cool idea to see the Decepticons from the Autobots' point of view and kind of experience the evil from that side. And from a story perspective, it ended up working out really well. And that way you can also not tie characters to a certain level, for example, like we had done in the past. You can actually switch between you can use any of the characters pretty much at any time. So there were a lot of reasons why we went that way, but definitely something that we could consider in the future. So.
With the combat, but maybe is there character progression in it, like an XP system? Sorry, that's really right. That's awful singing. Character progression, unlocks, upgrades. Is there anything like that built into the game?
Oh, there's a ton. So there's a dungeon crawler style loot system. And so, depending on the difficulty you're playing, the quality of your loot increases, and there's like rare weapons, there's uncommon weapons and common ones, and there's a ton of different weapon types. Additionally, you can level up your weapons by synthesizing them with other ones and bring properties over, and there's this stuff called tech that you can attach to your Transformers in order to customize them and give them extra stats. Then all of your characters have stats that level up as you go, and there's a ton of different things. A lot of it's designed for multiple playthroughs as well.
I was going to say that. I mean, certainly like Optimus Prime, I know the iconic gun, the axe, but if you have the multiple weapon types, what are you drawing inspiration from? Is that various? Yeah.
漫画からアニメから、あとおもちゃっていうのを全て参照にしてます。今、ゲームに出ている武器に関しては、全て何かしらの元ネタあります。
So every weapon that you see in the game is based on something that we saw somewhere in Transformers fiction. So be it the comic books, the TV show, or the toys, all of it comes from somewhere. And they got to really geek out on this and just go nuts and just kind of have.
Well, is it a storyline inspired by the original cartoon, or is it set in a particular era, or
Yeah, it's actually set in the Generations universe, and it takes elements from the IDW comic books, as well as the original TV show, as well as Hasbro's Generations line, and kind of puts them all together in its own standalone, classic yet modern Transformers world.
Cybertron, Earth, where else are we going to see?
So you see, I don't want to spoil too much, but you've definitely seen Earth, and there have been small glimpses of places that aren't Earth, including Cybertron. So you do go to several places, but I don't want to spoil it all.
Okay.
So.
Well, we're seeing this sort of combat with normal-sized enemies, but with someone like Devastator, with the Combaticons, do we see those? Are they bosses? How does that work?
ボスに対してか、まあそうですね、迫力ある戦闘が楽しめるというところもあり、通常のボスではありえないような地形の変化をしてくるような攻撃もしてきます。
So first of all, you can expect the huge bosses to be insanely powerful, and they do things that other characters don't do, such as, for example, you can probably see it in some of the Devastator footage, but he'll hit the ground and it'll raise up the earth because he hits it so hard, and that actually becomes a factor in the battle. So there's definitely things that are unique to every boss battle, but particularly for like Devastator, you're going to see some unusual things happening.
Okay, we're sort of wrapping up then. Key question, burning question. Are you guys using Stan Bush's You've Got the Touch?
We do not have that song in the game, I can confirm, but we do have something that will get fans very excited that is not necessarily in a dissimilar vein. So we haven't discussed that in detail yet, but I don't think fans will be disappointed, we'll put it that way.
Okay, and final question then. Obviously, we're in this wonderful booth, but in a few hours you guys will be off. What's the roadmap for the future, for the next month? What are you concentrating on?
In terms of development, we are trying to finish. So we're getting really close, and we're just, at this point, we're very close to final, and we're just trying to get rid of the last bugs to get this thing out the door and into players' hands. So,
listen, thank you very much indeed, both for your time.
Absolutely, thank you.